good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, he didn't cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. We discuss local and national Native events, and as you know, Haley, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
You're absolutely right, Robert. This portion of the show is supported by Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon, supporting honest Native news from Natives themselves. Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon.
Well, we have celebrities on all the time, Haley, and we have, I don't want to say a new celebrity, but a celebrity that just had a big article in the paper and is hanging out with Wes Studi. So we got to be really nice to Angie Vig here of Vig Guitars. Welcome, Angie. Oh, ho.
Bonjour.
How's it going?
Oh my gosh. I don't know about all that, but what a week that we've had here. And just so much has been going on. And yeah, that article will be in the actual print tomorrow in the Star Tribune.
Cool.
So it's called I Am St. Paul. James Walsh was nice enough to take the time to come and choose us for this week. And yeah, it's just great to talk about the store and about where I'm from and just our experiences here, because we just celebrated our 9th anniversary here in the shop. And so we're finally getting some good recognition.
Yeah, and it all started here at Native Roots Radio. No, I'm just kidding, but
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, thanks to you guys. We have had some customers that said they heard about us through the radio watching, so that's pretty cool. So thank you.
That is cool. That is very cool. Well, talk
and then
about
a week and a half ago. What? Oh, I'm sorry.
I was going to say talk. No, I was going to say talk about your week for the people. We all went and saw that and talk about this.
Yeah, miigwech for the. I won tickets for you guys' ticket giveaway. That just happened to coincide the next day after I met Wes. So last week or a week and a half ago, I had emailed him through his website, and I didn't know if it would go to him, like who handles their social media, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I just invited him to the shop, told him who I was, because his movie, A Love Song, he plays guitar, and I was like, oh, I did hear that he played music. And I looked up his music stuff on YouTube, and yeah, he's a great guitar player, bass player. And sure enough, he came in. I couldn't believe it. And he was here for a couple hours, him and his friend, Eddie Chocolate. And he just wrote a book, this Eddie, called This Indian Boy. And so like we were just networking and, you know, and Wes is so nice. And just like, I got a new uncle. Like, he was so familiar and it was so comfortable. And him and my husband jammed, and he played bass, my husband played guitar, and then he asked me to sing. So hopefully I'll post that soon. We did a Bob Dylan tune because, you know, he's in Bob Dylan's state. So
Exactly.
it was only appropriate. We just had a really great time talking, and, you know, I just talked to him about just what he's done for our people, you know, and representing us on screen and just everything. And it was just amazing.
Well, before we get too far deep in this interview, I want you to tell everybody where you are, who you are with Vig Guitars. You're our White Earth Ojibwe sister here in St. Paul. And tell everybody that before we forget about promoting your great store.
Thank you. Yeah, we're in St. Paul in the Midway area. We are on Snelling Avenue and Thomas Avenue is the cross street. It's 595 Snelling Avenue North. And we're the biggest instrument repair shop in Minnesota. And yeah, and as far as I know, I am the first and only Indigenous female music store owner And yeah, it's really neat to be in the community here this way.
Yeah, it really is, and I see you at a lot of things. Haley and I see you around town, and that's really good. You are in the community, not only your store but your person, and that's so important for us.
Yeah, you have to be.
Mhm.
I would love to be. How fun was it meeting Bobby Wilson at Wakan Tipi Awan Yan Gapi? I don't have Dakota tongue, so
What was it, Haley?
I'm very unsure as well, Angie.
Okay. Okay.
formerly
Well,
known
yeah.
as the Lord Phelan.
Bobby's been on the show quite a few times, and he's a former student of mine too. So it's a really small world, and we had to go see him and support his art. And he's going to be on soon in a week or so too. Along with we're reaching out with Wes to try to get Wes and Eddie on the show too. So I'll have to drop your name and said Angie said you'd come on the show. Oh, wow.
That's awesome. Yeah, man, that was just so cool. And then we did just that day when we at that mural reception, we had got the hats in.
Yeah.
And so now we have the baseball hats, and I gave Bobby one, and he wore it. So that was really great.
It was, yeah. It was cool. That one was beaded, wasn't it? Or was it? I can't remember.
No,
he
wore another one that was beaded. No, but that's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, get it all sacred and sell it at Native Roots Trading Post. Oh, wow. So do you have like a busy time of the year? Do a lot of students come in like in the beginning of the school year? Or is it just like feast or famine? All of a sudden you're busier than heck, and then you're slow, and then you're busy and slow, or is it hard to gauge when people come in?
Well, because we do so much repair, we have a lot coming in right now. Because the weather's changing. Look at it right now; it's raining out, and so it went from humid to dry to maybe a little bit humid, but it's a little humid, but at the same time it's cold and dry. So all the guitar necks are moving. They think they're still a tree, which they are. So they keep moving, and so that causes the strings to buzz, and everything needs to be adjusted one way, and then come summer it'll be adjusted another way.
Oh, so when I play my guitar, it's not, those strings aren't supposed to be buzzing, huh?
No, bring it by. We'll fix it up for you. Doctor it up.
Well, I know I need a guitar strap on it because I sit down and play it all the time, and it's hard to play some Prince tune or something when you're sitting down.
You can play Prince, Dega? I didn't know that.
I was saying if
right,
it would be hard.
We're gonna have to try it out when you come here.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Angie, what else is going on now? This is business with you and your husband. It's been 9 years here in St. Paul, and it's just taken off. I know I drive by it a lot because, well, I head up to the Goodwill up by your way. Oh,
sure. Well, stop by. Yeah, we always have coffee on, and just check us out and drop that guitar off. We'll fix it up for you.
Right on. Angie, give your address again, and where people can see you.
595 Snelling Avenue North. Our website is vigguitarshop.com, and we're on all the social medias. So stop by sometime.
We definitely will. I definitely will make a point of it. Great to see you, and I will see you soon. Thanks for stopping in and telling us your story, and now you're a celebrity, so now we have to really beg to have you on. Oh, wow.
Be bless you guys.
We'll see you. All right. Hey, we'll be right back. This is Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake.
Stay with us.
If the statistics say that 1 in 3 Native women and 1 in 6 Native men have experienced sexual assault in their lifetime, it means our whole community is affected by sexual violence. 1 is too many. Don't stand by, stand up. Don't engage in acts of sexual violence, and shut down the dirty jokes, the gossip, the victim blaming and shaming. As a community, we can change the way we respond. Contact the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition to attend a workshop to learn more.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Be a vaccinative. As the fall season continues, new COVID-19 variants threaten the health of not just you, but our elders as well. These new variants might even evade previous vaccines. That's why it's important to stay up to date. The newly authorized vaccines target current variants effectively and are FDA approved for ages 6 months and older. But there is an important note. These are the first COVID vaccines to be commercialized, which means there may be costs associated with them. Speak with your health insurer about your coverage before scheduling an appointment to avoid a surprise bill. For those without health insurance, help is available. Ask your health clinic about options or visit vaccines.gov for free locations. Getting vaccinated protects you from severe disease. Don't put yourself or elders at risk. So be a vaccinative and protect our community. You can visit vaccines.gov for free vaccine locations.
This message is brought to you in partnership with the Minnesota Department of Health.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. This is Spirit from Reservation Dogs. Get up and listen.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon, supporting honest Native news from natives themselves. Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon.
You know, I always say our show wouldn't be anything without the guests, and we have a guest on right now, John Williams, who's a VP of Development and of Native American Community Development Institute. And John, it's always great to see you. I was hoping for a quick update of what's happening with you and NACTI, and you've been out of town, and now you're back. You're ready to see a movie and a play and all those fun things.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Yeah, I was in Las Vegas last week for the National Urban Indian Families Coalition conference, which was wonderful. They support our Make Voting a Tradition work here in Minnesota, and just a whole group of Native organizations from around the country doing civic engagement and voter mobilization in their communities, and it was just really inspiring. Made some great connections. I donated to the Greater Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Bureau or whatever. I had no luck, and that's okay.
I always used to say if it wasn't for not having any luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. Isn't that from a movie?
Right.
We'll have to get into that sometime, the movies.
Robert, have you heard of The Sphere?
Yes, I have. And it's a big eyeball. And it's brand new. I've seen that. It's crazy. Tell us about it.
We saw it only from outside. We didn't go in. And U2 is playing there, and one of my colleagues, Ed, is going to see U2 next week. But it's just really cool. I posted some pictures. I don't know how they do it. It's a sphere, obviously, right. And it's an LED display, three-dimensional. I don't know how they pull it off, but
it's huge. It's huge. They fit like 10,000 people in there, don't they?
Oh, yeah. And it cost $2.4 billion. Isn't that staggering?
That's 2 B-1 bombers. And I always talked to Robert Lilligren and talked about we could feed everybody in this country if we just made one less B-1 bomber.
Right. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Yeah. Las Vegas is conspicuous consumption. So it was fun. It was fun for a few days, but now I'm back, and I am late to the party of seeing Killers of the Flower Moon, and I know we're going to get on that this week. And the play For the People. So I've got a busy social schedule coming up.
Yeah, definitely. And
you guys went to it, right?
We went to opening, and we were giving out tickets. And we'll probably have Wes Studi on soon. And there's a Ho-Chunk. Two Bears.
Nathaniel Two Bears, yeah.
Two Bears is on it, so we're going to get these people on especially as soon as possible to promote it, because it was awesome. It was fun. It was a lot of things. Haley and I and my wife Wendy, we went, and it was a great time. And a quality theater, and of course at the Guthrie.
Yeah, I love the Guthrie. Yeah, I heard they call out Bob Rice and powwow grounds.
Yeah,
They do.
That's
In a
awesome.
good way.
Maria's too. I mean, I've snuck over there to Maria's quite a few times.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's
There's lots to do in the community, and I wanted to let everybody know that this Thursday is our last farmers market for the season. Can you believe, Robert, that it's gone that quickly?
I know, I love it. And now, where am I going to go and be seen and hang out with people to be seen with?
I know we're going to have to hibernate for a few months, like usual. But yeah, we're closing down the farmers. We will have a winter market, and I will bring more details about that as I learn them. But we're also putting our farm to bed. So our farmer Gloria is just a reflective time of year as we did so much work and ramped up for it, and then had a great growing season in the community, and now it's time for everybody to rest, and all the plants to go to sleep. So it's kind of a bittersweet time, but it's our seasons here in Minnesota.
I have to enjoy it too. I've really been thinking about this. I'm 62 years old. The average age of males are 78, and a lot younger as a native people. And I'm thinking, well, that means I have like 16 more of these, and I better enjoy them.
That's so funny, because I just told someone I've got about 20 years. I'll outlive you, Robert, according to our schedule.
You're much younger.
Yeah, I mean, we have to enjoy it. I've been driving down the river road. The trees are amazing. It's so beautiful out. So yeah, come and join us for one more farmers market, and then we'll put it to bed for the year.
And you got coming up a new happenings in the museum. I like to call it the museum, but it's the where the art hangs. Help me, John.
Where the art hangs? All My Relations Gallery, right?
That's it.
Have you seen the show?
Not the new one, no, but I'll be there this Thursday to be able to check it out for sure.
Okay, it's called a Abajijiwan, which means it's Ojibwe for it flows continuously, as I understand it. It's these two artists, Monique Verdon and Karen Goulet, and Karen lives at the headwaters of the Mississippi, and Monique lives in Houma, Louisiana. I hope I'm saying that right. At the Delta. And so they've had this ongoing conversation and documentation and community work around our river as a relative. And it's a beautiful interactive. There's some really cool weaving, and Karen actually did a workshop for us for 2 days where community members could come in and use the looms. Have you guys ever used a loom before?
Only to bead, not to make a loom. What, a rug or
a rug? Yeah. So we were working on a community rug. We asked people to bring an item that they could, basically cut up into pieces and add to the community. Rug that they're making, and it looks a little intimidating, you guys, but it's easier than I thought.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, we're here with John Williams, VP of Development, and John, it's always fun to talk to you and see you, and I always think of my old buddy Julia Tavine, years ago.
All right.
And I'm Facebook friends with her, so I have to just give her a quick shout out someday, because she danced as a youngster with another high school, or this was junior high, but Leah Thompson was also a dancer too before she became an actor. Leah. She was in Back to the Future, and I went
Okay.
to junior high with her, and she went to open school, and she was a ballerina before she was an actor.
Okay.
So I know all these famous people like you.
You do. Wow, that's impressive.
So what else is going on? We got a couple more minutes here, and
Oh, sure. So, well, the city council elections are coming up, Robert.
yep. Wow.
We've been out with our Make Voting a Tradition program. We've been tabling. We did the Indigenous Peoples Day voter registration over with AIOIC. We are handing out, we have a partnership with the League of Women Voters, and they put together an awesome guide to all the candidates, nonpartisan. It just is the roster for everybody to understand and know, what those council positions do. And I know because my boss was a former council person, but not everybody does. They don't know, and so it explains the role of city. These folks are making decisions for us every day that impact our streets, our roads, everything. And so it's real important that we get out and vote. And it is November 7th. The election day is November 7th. Oh my goodness, I better just double check.
Yeah, well, and here in St. Paul, and I'm sure in Minneapolis and all around, the early voting is happening now too. And Wendy and I do the early voting because we don't know where we're going to be on November 7th. And you're right, absolutely right. There's things happening here with apartment buildings here in St. Paul that the city council's made some decisions on that a lot of people aren't happy about. And if you're not voting and you're not part of the process, then you really don't have anything, or you really can't complain.
Well, we can always complain. And that's just who we are as people. No, but I mean, our voice and our vote matters. I mean, we are such a force when we all go out to vote. We just did a survey, Robert, and we got 861 replies.
What?
And the question was, we just wanted a baseline. Why do you vote? We wanted to get some narrative from people, not yes or no questions, but why do you vote? And then if you don't vote, why also? And there was narrative on almost every single question. People like to talk about this issue. A vast majority of people express that they vote, and they vote for their children, their grandchildren, for the climate, for the earth, for water, all the things that are important to Indian people. But what is a little disheartening is those that don't vote.
Yes.
And some people have been really harmed by the system. And I think what MVAT staff and canvassers do so well is that they connect with people one-on-one so that conversations can happen. Why don't you vote is not a simple question to be asking people. It's very complex. Lots of things are brought into it. So I just love our people that they're out there. We canvassed the different wards, and we're just trying to, encourage people to get to the polls.
Let's do that. Hey, John, thanks for stopping in, and really appreciate you and what you guys do. We'll be talking to you soon. Voting is very important. You're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and we're with John Williams, VP of Development at Native American Community Development Institute. We'll be right back.
At Metro State University, change the world your way. Students learn from expert instructors in high-demand degree programs including healthcare, technology, cybersecurity, teaching, and business. As one of the most diverse universities in Minnesota, Metro State is a learning community dedicated to equity, inclusion, and anti-racism. Explore 60-plus high-quality bachelor's degree programs at Metro State University's open house events, in person October 17th and online October 19th. Sign up at metrostate.edu/open house. Know your power. Metro State University.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
In this critical time for Indian country, voting is crucial to protecting the land, water, and communities. Voting creates collective power in securing our planet's future amid climate chaos. Engage in personal conversations with loved ones to ensure they are making informed voting choices. Register to vote. And don't forget that 16 and 17-year-olds can pre-register to vote in Minnesota. NACD is asking us to stand together and make voting a tradition. Go to NACD.org to learn more and make your pledge to vote.
Bonjour, hello. My name is Wabin. I am an enrolled member of the White Earth Nation, descendant of the Navajo Nation, and co-chair of the Indigenous Employee Resource Group with the Minnesota Department of Transportation. MnDOT is hiring for a variety of positions from road maintenance to accounting and more. We offer great benefits. For more information or to set up a one-on-one resume and application assistance, visit mn.gov/careers, or you can text or call 612-257-2388. 612-257-2388.
October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and StrongHearts Native Helpline is here to help. If you are experiencing domestic or sexual violence, StrongHearts advocates provide culturally appropriate support and advocacy for Native Americans and Alaska Natives. Free, confidential, anonymous, 24/7. StrongHearts advocates are Native American and take a Native-centered approach to every contact. Call or text 1-844-762-8483. That's 1-844-7-NATIVE, or chat online at www.strongheartshelpline.org.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Showers and thunderstorms continue tonight with a low of 51, then Wednesday cloudy with a high of 60. Latunji's Palette is a social enterprise business built with purpose and fortified with love. Discover the best peach cobbler in the world at Latunji's Palette, 1400 Park Avenue South in Minneapolis. Visit the website at latunjispalette.com.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. This is Spirit from Reservation Dogs. Get up and listen.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by JS Bean Factory off Randolph Avenue in St. Paul.
Hey, I love their coffee. Love their coffee. Get Steve's Blend. That's the dark roast. I love it. Hey, we are here with Samantha Still, and she's a communications manager at StrongHearts Helpline. It's a national domestic and sexual violence helpline headquartered here in Minneapolis. And October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we are going to be talking a little bit about StrongHearts and what they do for the community. And also, we have Let's Talk Empowerment on October 17, 2023, that you can tell us a little bit more about your virtual event and what's happening. Just a big hello and welcome, Samantha.
Yes, hi, thank you for having me. Our communications team has planned our very first live chat via Zoom titled Let's Talk Empowerment, which will feature our CEO, Lori Jump, which y'all have had the pleasure of meeting before. We'll be talking about StrongHearts culturally appropriate support and advocacy and why it's important to Native Americans and Alaska Natives.
Yeah, I wonder if we could go over some of the services that you guys provide, because I know we've been in partnership with you guys over the years, and you've really grown, and it's been a very important part of our community all over Turtle Island.
Yeah, so some of the things that our advocates provide, one of the main things that we actually get calls for is peer support. We also offer help for safety planning. We give our relatives resources to we give them we refer them, to local resources in their tribal community or in their surrounding areas.
Yeah, and Samantha, I understand that you guys are approaching your 7th year in operations, and That's how long Native Roots Radio has been on, too. So can you talk to me about some of the transformations and how StrongHeart has really evolved over the years?
Yes, we are quickly approaching 7 years in operation. Congratulations to you guys. 7 years is quite the time. If you don't mind, I'd kind of like to talk a little bit about how we were born, and then go into some of the obstacles and things we've gone through over the past 7 years. So in 2016, the National Domestic Violence Hotline and the National Indigenous Resource Center noticed that despite the disproportionate numbers of Native Americans and Alaska Natives experiencing violence, our relatives who needed support were not reaching out. So thankfully, those organizations were forward-thinking enough to create StrongHearts to be a resource for our relatives. We were born, and here we are almost 7 years later with nearly 50,000 contacts to our line. But in those almost 7 years of being in operation, we've done quite a few different things. One of the main things we did within those 7 years was increase our hours of operation. When we first started, we were open during normal business hours, and we seen that even though when our relatives would call us, after hours, they would have an option to press 1 and be transferred to a different hotline. And our relatives just weren't doing that. They wanted to wait until the next day to speak to a Native advocate. And so out of that need, we increased our services to 24/7, 365 days a year. So that was a major thing we did, was increase our hours of operation. Not only did we do that, we also added 2 different ways our survivors could contact us. One of those was by text by phone, and also chat via our website. In those 7 years, we've also added 2 other training components that cover sexual assault. And most recently, we partnered with the Department of Homeland Security's The Blue Campaign, adding a training component to cover human trafficking.
Yeah, that's really, really huge. And over the past 6 years, what have been some of your unexpected hurdles that you've had to overcome?
Yeah, so like a lot of different organizations within the past several years, we had to implement and practice social distancing, and we had to have a social distancing protocol, which led us to needing some more space. So what we did is we did a hybrid schedule for our advocates, and then eventually went to all remote. We didn't think that it would become a permanent tool of operation for us, but as it turns out, it worked for our organization. And just recently, we became a fully remote organization. What began as an obstacle to overcome became one of our positives by forcing us to open up job opportunities for applicants nationwide. And we presently have advocates in 15 different states throughout Turtle Island.
Wow, that's crazy. That's awesome. So StrongHearts is gathering real-time data on a national basis. Mm-hmm. Why is this so important?
Yeah, so in general, there has been very little data being collected on Native populations nationwide. At StrongHearts, we're identifying the types of abuse being reported, and service barriers, and the lack of available resources. We know that access to resources is severely lacking. Let me give you an example. There's just over 5,000 shelters and service organizations in this country, yet only 300 of those are Native-centered. That's why it's important for our advocates to be prepared to give all of our contacts the best support system we can offer, including things such as crisis intervention and safety planning. Our advocates understand that Native American and Alaska Natives need and they deserve culturally appropriate support and advocacy. And when resources aren't available, our advocates help our contacts to navigate violence with information and education on how to recognize red flags and how to plan for safety.
You know, what are some of the top needs that StrongHearts is to get past service, identified as getting past some service barriers?
So we know that 76% of the time, StrongHearts advocates are providing peer support. That's what our callers need, is peer support, followed by education on red flags and healthy relationships, and then making referrals to shelter and local resources. But when it comes to barriers for service, like many, we're challenged by barriers involving transportation, financial constraints, and the need for anonymity. One of the things we're proud to offer our contacts, we're proud to refer them back to local resources. We're especially proud of our extensive, sorry, I'm getting a little tongue-tied here, our extensive database of Native-centered providers that we can refer our contacts to if needed. The need for anonymity in the Native community is huge, right? Confidentiality and anonymity are foundational to StrongHearts. We all know the saying, we're all related, right? On Turtle Island. And sometimes that can be a good thing or that can be a bad thing. So when our relatives are reaching out for support, sometimes their first call is not going to be to their local resource, right? Because they may know somebody who works there and they're not ready for everybody to know what's going on. And so us being the first people they call, the first line of defense, if you will, gives them a sense of them having the anonymity that they're sometimes looking for.
You know, that is a really good point, and I never really thought about that, but that is really a good point and a good way to go about it. I know, you've received a lot of context over, the last 6 years. What kind of abuses is reported?
Yeah, so we have things that are reported like sexual abuse, domestic abuse, cultural abuse. Let's see, things like those are three of our bigger things that are reported.
Mm-hmm. Hey, can you define a cultural abuse for our audience? I know that's kind of not a vague, but I know you and I understand what that could be. Could you just explain that real quick?
Yeah, cultural abuse. And it's something that you may not even think is happening to you, right, when you're in a relationship. But if your partner is keeping you from, going to do a sweat or participating in tribal doings that your reservation is holding, even things like a powwow for some could be a cultural doing. So things that you find comfort in within your tribal community that your partner is keeping you from can be identified as cultural abuse.
Yeah, that's a hard one too. That runs deep, as many of these are. It's just a great organization. We're here with Samantha Still of StrongHearts, the Native Helpline, which has just been so exciting over the years to see you grow and really help our community. And I really like how we brought up the fact that that you help navigate this, because sometimes our community is too tied in with people and everyone. Like I know as Ho-Chunks, darn, we're all related, literally, literally down the road. It's like, wow. But yeah, I mean, and it's a serious thing too.
Yeah, the need for anonymity is probably one of the more important things. Our advocates, our line is 100% confidential. We don't take any personal information, and so that you're free to call our line and that your story and your information is safe with our advocates.
Well, we've been talking about the line. We're about to wrap up this segment. Why don't we give out the number? I think that's really important, and we should do that a few times too in the next segment, because there's people out there listening all over Turtle Island that may need this help or know somebody that needs that now.
Yeah, so you can call or text 1-844-7-NATIVE. That's 1-844-762-8483. You can also chat online at www.strongheartshelpline.org, and we are 24/7.
Wow, that's exciting. Samantha, you have time to hang on for another segment here, because I'd like to go over a little more of that information that we have. You've given us a lot of information. We can chew on it and talk a little bit more about it and get the number out there again.
Absolutely.
Hey, you're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and we're here with Samantha Still of StrongHearts Native Helpline, and we'll be right back after this short break.
Stay with us.
Minnesotans age 65 plus might qualify for Health Partners Minnesota Senior Health Options. The plan includes personal support, coverage for medical, prescription drugs, and dental, plus over 30 extra benefits. Eligibility information is available at healthpartners.com/oneplan. Health Partners is a health plan that contracts with both Medicare and the Minnesota Medical Assistance Medicaid program to provide benefits of both programs to enrollees. Enrollment in Health Partners depends on contract renewal.
Back to school season is here. And while this is an exciting time for parents, kids, and educators, let's not forget how far we've come in our battle against COVID-19. We're in a better place, but COVID-19 is still here, and we need to continue to help protect our communities. With the flurry of new schedules and classrooms, let's not overlook the fundamentals of staying safe. Wash your hands regularly and watch for any symptoms like fever, chills, a cough, or shortness of breath. Should you or someone you know have COVID-19 symptoms, stay home and get tested. Find more tips on continuing to be safe at health.state.mn.us. Let's have this back-to-school season be a time of renewed commitment to our collective health and brighter future for our Native communities. Again, find more tips on continuing to be safe at health.state.mn.us.
This message is brought to you in partnership with the Minnesota Department of Health.
October's Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and StrongHearts Native Helpline is here to help. If you are experiencing domestic or sexual violence, StrongHearts advocates provide culturally appropriate support and advocacy for Native Americans and Alaska Natives. Free, confidential, anonymous, 24/7. StrongHearts advocates are Native American and take a Native-centered approach to every contact. Call or text 1-844-762-8483. That's 1-844-7-NATIVE. Or chat online at www.strongheartshelpline.org.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
Hey, we're here with Samantha Still, StrongHearts Native Helpline, and we're talking about the helpline and the history and the things that it does. I want to also just give the number again, 1-844-7-NATIVE. That's 1-844-762-8483, or StrongHeartsHelpline.org. That's StrongHeartsHelpline.org. One word. They're open 24 hours, 7 days a week. Hey, Samantha, thanks again for coming on. It just feels like today we've had really a show on really important work, and it's great to have those, and great to see our community reaching out to our community, and in a good way. I want to ask you, what is the thing that you want people to remember about StrongHearts?
Yeah, I can go on and on, but there's a couple things that I'd like to highlight. Our advocates, all of our advocates are 100% Native American. They are all Native American on the line. So when you're calling, you're going to get somebody who understands what you're going through. They understand your trauma. They understand generational trauma. So you're going to get on the line with somebody who understands you. And although we are culturally appropriate for Native Americans and Alaska Natives, we will help anybody who calls our line, if that's getting you resources or forwarding you to a different helpline. We are there for whoever contacts our line. I just want to highlight again our event on October 17th, Let's Talk Empowerment with CEO Lori Jump. We have LinkedIn, we have Facebook, we have Instagram. You can go to any one of our social media platforms to register for that very important talk.
Yeah, that is, and thanks for bringing that up again, because that is very important. And I think for myself, doing this show over the years and really finding out and being keyed in on how important something like this, not only just in the community, but our community, especially because of all the trauma that a lot of our people and most of our people have carry with them.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Even throughout my my time with StrongHearts, you know, I'm close knitted into my tribal community, and there's things that I still am learning about my community being in this position, and all of the information that I gather while being here is making me so rich and so fortunate.
Yeah, and it is, and it's a thing that I think nowadays, you know, I'm 62 years old, and nowadays we can talk about a lot of things. I mean, you know, for me being a male, I was always told not to cry, and it shows lack of power. And a lot of times abuse and trauma come from those places of power. And we want to be vulnerable and emotional and human. And I think everybody wants to be that way, but sometimes that doesn't happen, and we really need to help people that are in situations that aren't good.
Yes, I think it's important that we remember that our ancestors, they were strong and they were resilient, and we must carry that forward and show that we are too strong and our people are resilient and we can get through, and we have got through a lot of different things.
Yeah. Haley, you've been listening intently. Have you any questions here? I want to give out the number again and how important it is, but I know it's really important for our women to listen and hear this. But I just want to say one more time, the number is 1-844-7-NATIVE. That's 1-844-762-8483 or www.strongheartshelpline.org, and hours of operation are 24/7.
Yeah, I just got to say thank you, Big Pinagigi Sam, for coming on with us. And I'm really, really grateful that StrongHearts Native Helpline is a thing. You know, like before, I had never heard of such a service like this. And I will say, being in therapy and overcoming trauma and things like that, you know, going to a normal, therapy place and trying to get them to understand the pain and the trauma that comes from maybe not growing up in the culture or losing that in the family. And, you know, they don't always know the right thing to say. And I feel like we really need that as Natives, and we need someone on our side and who's been through it and who has that generational trauma. So they know exactly, one, how you're feeling, but also know how to support you in that type of pain as well.
Yes, I agree. And we have a lot of different resources on our website, and we have a specific section on there that'll talk you through how to support a loved one who is experiencing sexual or domestic violence, because everybody unfortunately knows someone. And our website is a great tool for anybody to utilize who is looking for more information, whether you are a victim, a survivor, or somebody who loves somebody who's going through this situation. We have a ton of great resources on our website. Please, when you have a chance, visit our website and look at those resources.
Well, we talked a little bit about abuse with our people's abuse. You know, I guess one of the things I want to talk about too is that abuse is not just physical. There's an emotional abuse, and whether we talked about earlier about keeping people away from their culture is abuse, and that's part of a long line of things that could happen that our relatives have to be aware for us sometimes.
Yes, I think there's a lot of things that can qualify as abuse that unless you're educated about abuse, you're not going to realize that you're in an abusive relationship, right? Mm-hmm. I keep plugging in our website, but again, on our website, we have a healthy relationship quiz, because sometimes you're not going to know that you're in an abusive relationship or that your partner is abused. So if you have any questions or doubts in your mind, head over to our website, take that healthy relationship quiz, and our advocates, one of the things they offer is peer support. Call our line, talk through your situation. Our advocates are there to help walk you through if you're going through something that you're unsure if it's abuse or not. They will help you get through that and help you find an answer.
You know, with pain, there's growth, and what a great way to get help through StrongHearts Native Hotline to get the help you need. We all need help, and we all are not sure when we're in the middle of the fire what the fire is all about. So it's great to be able to reach out, whether it's over the phone or on the website, like you said. It's important. Don't be afraid. The opposite of fear is faith, and with having somebody like StrongHearts Native Hotline supporting you, I just can't say enough about your organization, and it's proof in the pudding of the growth in the last 6 years, Samantha.
Yes, we have grown exponentially, and we are all super proud of the growth our organization has seen. Our CEO, Lori Jump, she's a great leader in our organization, and she really does care about the work we do, which all reflects on us. And so we're all very passionate about the work we do here at StrongHearts Native Helpline.
Hey, we only have like a minute left. I want you to get that information out again about your symposium on the 17th.
Yes, we're going to have a live Zoom chat titled Let's Talk Empowerment featuring our CEO, Lori Jump. Head over to any one of our social media platforms. We have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. You can find the link to register on that October 17th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Well, Samantha Still with StrongHearts Native Helpline, www.strongheartshelpline.org. Thank you so much for stopping in. Very important information. Would love to have you on again, and maybe even before the 17th, just to remind everyone.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having us, and thank you for the continued support.
Right on. Hey, if you're listening to the show, you're part of the resistance. We're still here. We are the 7th generation.
And free Leonard Peltier now.